Hello everybody, me again, and this is the video that kind of caused the backlog, which I'm currently muddling through. It's the first in a series of 4 videos, all from the 2018 British GT, this one coming from back in June. And yeah, the whole second half of the BGT season is going to be in this backlog, obviously starting with this one. We'd start there. I did say it was the reason that it sort of caused the backlog. You'll kind of see why later in the video, and I'm sure I'll mention it again then as well. So yeah, after a very weird start, we weren't exactly bunched together properly. Myself and the Bentley, nice big blue Bentley. Oh god, I've had a thing with a purple Porsche before. Don't get me started with a big blue Bentley. This isn't going to be fun already. But yeah, we're jockeying for positions around the first sector, and he runs wide as we exit that sector, and I finally swap into my favoured view. Oh, that was an unintentional dive by the looks of things, and the Bentley, the big blue Bentley, capitalises. I really don't want that to be a thing, but it's definitely going to be now, isn't it? So yeah, jockeying around, seeing if I could look for a way past it. That's never really something I'm going to actually want to do into the Michael Schumacher races. Oh, that was sketchy. Not a big fan of that particular section of track. Heading down into turn 1, and the big blue Bentley. Oh, I've messed it up already. The big blue Bentley went off, and oh, that looks like some other people have had some issues as well, and I think we're 3 wide. I'm pretty sure we're 3 wide and I'm on the outside. I've got the big blue Bentley in my rearview mirror. I'm trying not to turn this episode. I'm not trying very hard to not turn this episode into a series of tongue twisters, but ignoring that and going back to the racing, it looks like we might be able to hold off that Mercedes into the left-hander. Yeah, he's there in the mirror, going defensive for the right-hander. And we're holding 8th place now. So I think, is that one up from where I started? I think I started 10th. Go back to the video, start the video and check if you fancy. If not, oh well. Right, so into the lovely tight chicane. I'd definitely not rather have the other one. And people up ahead are starting to take a pit stop. Very interesting indeed. Especially on lap 3. That's certainly very early. So because people are deciding to go into the pits, I've sort of shuffled up to 5th place. Not actually in 5th place. We've got to try and remember that is an effective 8th. So that's what we've got to try and look out for at the end of the race. Okay, there's a couple of people off in the gravel over there on the left, and we just picked up 2 places. So I'm assuming that that's an effective 6th now. Although, if the race were to end right now, and I didn't have to take a penalty for not doing a pit stop, hey, podium! It's completely pathetic hypothetical. Oh, I wanted to go into the pits there. Is that Norbert in front of me? That is Norbert. Hi, Norbert! I know you like to often watch these videos. Yeah, wanted to try and jump in through the pits maybe, and he's decided to pit early. So, well, not pit early necessarily. Look at that on the left-hand side on the time counter thing. All of the rest of the... Oh, I can see why they all went in. I was going to say, all of the rest of the top 4 were all in the pits. And I decided to stick it out and try and be different. And I'm guessing they all pitted because they realised that they were going to start catching GT4 traffic, which I've now got to try and handle. Fortunately, it is quite close to the end of the lap. And if I'm lucky, they won't hold me up too much, but we're side by side into... Oh, the chicane, that's a little bit of contact. Surely I'm going into the pits now, yes. So it will be interesting to see if that one extra lap has helped me get past Norbert. Where is he? So he's coming up, he's approaching traffic. Is that him? I can't tell. Oh, that's him. So I've come out right behind him. Oh, and I've just squeezed in ahead of a Lamborghini. So we're assuming that I was the last person to pit. I thought I was in 8th, effectively. Oh, crikey. I'll tell you what. I did say I come out right behind Norbert. He's pulled a gap already, hasn't he? Not a very nice opening sector on cold tyres for me. So yeah, I was effective 8th originally. I think I made up 2 places when people went off, so that should have been 6th. So I think that the Lambo behind me, I think, is one of the cars that pitted really early on lap 3. So I must have jumped him, or playing the long game, and he's going to go right back past now, isn't he? Because that is a biggie, not the kind of mistake you ever want to be making, especially when there's someone close enough behind you to pounce. Oh, come on, get it back together. That's not a very good following sector once I got it back. Can I blame sand on the tyres? Is that a thing on Forza? Unfortunately, I don't think so. So we're jumping through to lap 14 now. Still P6. Maybe negotiating some GT4 traffic. Well, I was going to say maybe it will help me close up on the guys ahead, but that is just a horrible place to catch them. I couldn't get past. Oh, don't hit him. Oh, God. Yeah, couldn't get past on the run up to the Schumacher S's and being very, very badly held up. It's always nasty when no matter what the car or the class is, if you're in a multi-class race, if there's more than one car per class when you're trying to get past, it's always a pain. If it's a 1v1, it's fine. Like this. One of me, one of him, no problem. If there's two cars trying to overtake, or if you're trying to overtake two cars, it always causes issues. And I'll tell you what, I have noticed the big blue Bentley in the rearview mirror again. And tried to put off acknowledging it. And there's a little blue Lamborghini. It's not lilac, okay? I'm not going more alliterative. So yeah, trying to fend off those guys while also navigating the GT4 traffic. It's not fun. Definitely not fun. Because when you're the first car as well approaching, I think it's a little bit mean calling the slower class traffic. I mean, they're racing bloody fast. They're like as quick as they can for their class. It's just, you know, that's the whole point of multi-class. But yeah, trying to defend whilst overtaking. I mean, it's a pain when you're all in the same class, but when you're hoping that you catch someone at the right point because you know you're so much quicker just because of the difference in speed between the classes. It's like here, I just want to go and attack that apex, and I know that I can't because I might end up in the back of that Mustang. So I try and set up for a better exit, but then in doing so, you potentially leave yourself vulnerable to a move from behind, and that looks like potentially what happened to the big blue Bentley, who's been overtaken by the little Lamborghini. Why do I do this to myself? But anyway, this is now the last lap, I should probably mention. I've only just noticed myself, otherwise I would have mentioned it earlier. As in most Tourer events, the last lap on the race counter is used for the data collection. So we only race to the end of lap 16, despite there being 17 on the counter. So I think I'm looking at the clipping down below the preview screen. We're going to ride on board right to the end, and I can see why, because this could get tasty. We've got that big blue Bentley that wants to get back past that little Lamborghini, and I mean, I'm not exactly pulling away, am I? I'm probably causing them two more issues than they are each other. I mean, so I know I made a big mistake at the Schumacher S's earlier in the race, but let's just look at the gap to the guys ahead of me. Yeah, I haven't kept up with them very well. Around the last really difficult braking point. Well, is it? I'm talking rubbish. I'm just nervous. Just get out the corner nicely. We're going to hold on for P6. A little bit of a slide mid-corner. Swapping back into third person as I usually do on the run to the line. And yeah, the Lamborghini seems happy with that. I'm happy with that. 10th to 6th. I think it was 10th. Or was it 9th? I made up some positions from where I started anyway. And that's the end of a fairly successful race 1. There we go. There are the final standings for you. And it was indeed a P6. Just a shame. Norbert up in P4. Norbert features quite heavily in this video, but more so in this race. So yeah, as you can tell, all the HUD's gone. Now all the HUD's gone because my recording failed for this race. So yeah, that's kind of what I meant when it pissed me off, and I don't think I actually used that words earlier, but when I said it sort of caused a backlog because I was frustrated about what happened. It was the whole recording kind of failing that was really annoying. And then the race replay only lasts like 2/3 of the way through the race, and then I managed to capture the last 5 minutes using the Xbox DVR, and there was a really good overtake on Norbert. I know I've mentioned him a few times. That was just in between the two bits of footage, and I was really annoyed. And I don't think it was a brilliant race either way. I mean, you can see already. Started in, I presume it was 6th place. It should have been where I finished in the previous one. So can we count the cars ahead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we've lost the place to the Lamborghini, and we've got the big blue Bentley. And I mean, I can just hear that thing. I don't know if you're watching on headphones. I don't know if you get quite the same audio that I do. You probably don't because I'm talking over it. But that thing sounds incredible, and it's just, it pulls. So 6th to 8th on the opening lap. Not ideal, but the Lambo, is he going to lose a couple of positions there? He's made a mistake where I did, but he hasn't made it as badly as I did in the first race. Tried to go in, oh, that's a bit of a deep line. Trying to hang it round the outside, and I've hindered myself. That's not a great line through the right-hander, and this is now a very long flat-out section. It's not quite a straight, 'cause it's got a big kink in it. And as we cut to the end of it, you can see that I'm going defensive. Don't overshoot. I've overshot, and there goes the Lambo. So if we can try and keep track in this race, I think we're currently P8, and I don't know what seems to have happened. I sort of noticed this at the end of the first race. I just don't seem to really have the raw pace of like every other car. We just had a bit of a nothing clip there. I think it was to watch the two cars ahead swap positions, and that was, if I remember correctly, I could be proved wrong in the matter of minutes, but I think the majority of this race was me watching those two up ahead swap positions. I just wasn't quite quick enough to go and get involved myself. I mean, you saw even on the first lap they were both quick enough to just overtake me. So yeah, I was certainly feeling demoralised back in, was it June 2018? No, what am I talking about? It was June, but it was 2019. So just over 6 months ago, or about 6 months ago, or yeah, back in the summer. Certainly a long time ago, and not a fun evening of racing for me particularly. And like I said, that sort of caused the backlog. Once you get something that's sort of stuck in your mind. I mean, I know I waffle, but really, bloody hell, I'm talking shit right now, aren't I? Here we go then. I don't know what lap it is. I'm into the pits. You've got the Bentley pushing that Lambo round that corner. And as we come out, there goes somebody way up the road. Have we got anybody else around? We're going to look back, and there is somebody there. There is a Lamborghini. Not the same Lamborghini that we saw the Bentley pushing around the final corner, obviously, because he's up the road somewhere, having not taken his pit stop yet, but just nice to have a look back, see what's going on behind as well, because a lot of the time when you're watching videos like this, you just can't see what's going on behind. But speaking of what's going on ahead, hello Mr. Big Blue Bentley, coming out of the pits right in front of me, going deep at turn 1, and I do believe they call that an undercut. Pitted well, I'm going to guess a lap earlier than the Bentley. Could be a couple of laps. We've got no HUD. I've got no idea how big the time difference was in pitting. But yeah, there we go. Up 1 position. I'm looking back now just to see. It's starting a small train of cars to develop behind me there. Okay then, another lap. And another car coming out the pits. I'm going to guess that's the Lamborghini. The Gardex one. Yep. Oh, crikey, we've still got the Bentley right behind me. So we've managed to jump the Bentley, but not the Lambo. I wonder if he had perhaps had a little bit of a mistake, or who knows? It's pointless speculation. Okay, there's someone else coming out the pits. Who's that? That's Norbert? Hello, Norbert again. So yeah, wasn't really expecting. I mean, I do remember the fact that I had a bit of a race with Norbert towards the end of this race, but based on the highlights of this race, I don't know. I wasn't expecting Norbert to be back here, because I didn't think we could even see him earlier on before my pit stop. So who knows? I'll just shut up and enjoy it. Oh yeah, okay. So that's where the race kind of finished. The race highlights finished, or the race replay. So as we jump back to live, this is what I managed to capture on the Xbox DVR, and you can see that. So that. Probably about 25 minutes the race highlights lasted, and you can see that I am now ahead of Norbert in 5th place. Now I don't know. Okay. I now don't know where Norbert is, because he was right in my mirror a minute ago. As we finally start to catch some GT4 traffic. Oh, there's Norbert in my mirror, still just coming around the final corner. So yeah, unfortunately we didn't get my overtake on Norbert. Because it was a natural overtake, he didn't make a mistake or anything. It was a nice move up the inside into turn 3. I remember it vividly. And that's what I mean about things getting stuck on your mind. Like, this race was 6 months ago, and despite having no footage of it, I remember that I don't have any footage of it, and I remember exactly what the overtake was that we didn't capture, which is the reason that I was annoyed and ended up stopped doing videos, because like I kept doing this one off because of what happened, and then the next one got stacked up behind it, and then the next one got stacked up behind that, and that's why I ended up not bothering with so many. Obviously the older ones that you've already seen had their own separate issues as well, but it's things like that are just it's just rather frustrating. So yeah, this is now the last lap. I'm just sort of getting through the GT4 traffic and looking to bring it home. It looks like Norbert's not too close behind me. I think the Guard X BMW is the guy that's currently ahead in 4th, so I can't remember already. Oh, okay. Was half attempted a dive on that Merc into the left hand of the. He's run wide, and I've ended up getting on the exit instead. So yeah, I'm just going to ramble now because I've got not got a lot left else to say. I'll tell you what I will quickly mention. If you've made it this far, if anyone has the final standings of BGT 2019, can you let me know? I'd quite like to include them at the end of the race finale video, or the finale round video, in like 3 videos time. I can't remember where we finished. I can't remember where I finished in overall standings. I don't know what lobby this is. So yeah, that would be quite handy. And I also remember that this footage now cuts off quite abruptly. So with some celebratory not donuts, what am I talking about? Slaloms, I'll leave it there. Goodbye, thanks for watching.